Hey everybody, Charlie Iron 2 here, and welcome back to Star Citizen. We're back at the IAE for Day 9, Robert Space Industries. Let's go ahead and take a look around. We can see a few constellations, a Mantis, and what looks to be a Scorpius in the back. And it looks like we have Annex H2 and underneath. So let's check out a few of these ships. Starting off with the Constellation series of ships. You can see we got a Constellation here. One over here that looks like the Aquila. Over here looks like the Phoenix, and this is probably the Taurus. Let's look at the base model while we're here. This is the Constellation Andromeda. Quite a good little ship. As you can see, the cargo deck is down, and there is an elevator here. Let's do this. That should activate it. We're just going to check out one of these, and we'll talk briefly about the other ones. So when you first enter a constellation, you're going to be in the, I think it's called Section B, yep, which is the living quarters. So you've got a shower, toilet, some lockers, a few weapon racks, 4 bunks that double as escape pods, and you've got a lounge area with a table that kind of pops up, and I imagine there's like a kitchenette somewhere, maybe? You would think there would be. Maybe this is it. All right, then we go up to Section A. This is the bridge. Got the infamous tripping hazard cable here. So you have 2 turrets, one at the bottom, one at the top. And then actually a really cool bridge. I really like this bridge in the Constellation. You have these seats when you set them. They're hanging from the ceiling. They'll actually rotate around. Tons of struts, maybe a little bit too many struts. I think they could probably delete about 25% of the struts here and get the same effect. But overall, still a commanding bridge feel, and I really like that about the Constellation series. There are some components up here. You see avionics, shield generator. That is clearly not going to be the shield generator because it has been upgraded in the past few patches to a large shield. Used to have a medium. This is the cargo hold. As you can see, the bay is down right now for loading offloading. You can put vehicles on there. You do have I believe on either side an airlock. Yep, you can see on either side. And then the missiles. Quite a few missiles on this boat. More component access. And then when you get to the rear to Section D, you actually got something pretty cool. Some more components back here. You have a detachable snub fighter. This is a bespoke hanger, or not hanger, but I don't know, docking clamp for the Merlin, which I think is really cool. And we saw the Merlin on Kruger Day. So that's kind of the gist of the Constellation series. It's a medium, large to medium. I guess I would call it a medium-large multi-crew ship. It's not as large as some of the things out there, and it's definitely not capital size. This is an airlock, believe it or not. You see that closed before it actually went all the way down. So this one here, the Aquila, has a different bridge. This is the Exploration variant, and the top turret has been replaced with a scanning suite, and it comes by default with an Ursa rover. If we go to the other side here, the Taurus does not have the Merlin, but has a larger cargo bay and loses the bottom turret for more cargo. I think it's supposed to be some type of shielded cargo that can't be scanned. But you can see the cargo bay is much longer on this one. Actually, the whole ship is actually a little longer than the other ones. This one here is the Phoenix, which is the luxury VIP transport. And you can see windows up top there. There's actually a VIP area. Let's go check it out real quick. It's worth looking at. As you can see, this section is the same. If you go up front, you've got white leather seats. That's changed a little bit. But the real change is when you come back here. Look at this. The Phoenix symbol. You've got some staterooms here. You've got some like business to first class style seating with a great view. And then look at this. The bar. Very cool bar. I really like how this is. And then there's a conference table that can be swapped out for a piano. I don't know how that works. Modularity, I guess. Somebody's lost their water bottle. I should probably pick that up. Is it empty? Let's just grab it for now. We'll just keep on to it. All right, and here will be a hot tub. Does it open? It does not look like it opens yet. There should be a hot tub here. There's some components in the back. There's another stateroom with kind of one-way glass, as you can see, but it's not quite. And then you have more component access. And then snub fighter access back here. But that's the Archimedes, not the Merlin. And then you're probably thinking, oh, where's the cargo? If you check this out, look, there's a little hidden access here to like the engineering / cargo section. And it's wider than the other Constellation series. So I really love this. I think this is my favorite Connie out of them all. Can we lower the cargo bay? We probably can. Let's see if we can figure out where the button is. Maybe it's not a button. Maybe it's just there's a way to do it. I don't know if I know the way to do it. Up here, maybe? Yeah, I'm not seeing a panel. But you can lower this cargo bay just like you can the others. Is it here? No. Not seeing it. Let's just go back up. But yeah, this is a Constellation Phoenix. It's my favorite because look at the views you get. I love a ship with good views, especially in a game as pretty as Star Citizen. And I'm a sucker for luxury. Even though it has no practical purpose, it's just nice to have your ship look nice, right? All right, we're in that airlock area. Here we go. So a couple other ships here. This is the X-Wing of Star Citizen. This is the Scorpius by RSI. A really cool ship. You can see these wings are in their folded back configuration. They'll actually fold forward and spread out in an X-Wing configuration. Kind of like this, I can see where it looks like an Aurora quite a bit. And we'll look at the Aurora series and I'll show you what I mean. But this is a heavy fighter. As you can see, there are quad size 3s on a remote turret. The gunner sits behind the pilot. The gunner controls the turret. The turret is not controllable by the pilot, but the pilot does have 4 size 3 weapon mounts on the wings. You can see them back here. There you go. One there, and same on the other side. Heavy fighter, cool ship, folds up nicely so that it can fit inside of other ships. This is the RSI Mantis, which is an interdiction ship which has what's called a quantum snare. It also has one of the coolest cockpits in the game. The quantum snare will actually allow you to pull others out of quantum drive for either legal or nefarious purposes. Let's hop up. It's got quite the cozy little interior. Got like a coffee maker over here. You've got a bunk here. And there is a bathroom here. How do we open it? Whoop, okay. Kind of a glitch, but you saw it. And then you have a very, very smaller version of like the Constellation cockpit with little to no struts. I think this is too few struts, to be honest, for the RSI aesthetic. But definitely the Constellation has too many. I think somewhere in between is probably the answer. And the quantum snare, can we see it? It's in here. It opens up when you're using it. All right, so let's check out the ships below. Out of the Constellations, I would recommend the Taurus. It is the cheapest one. I believe it's 190 bucks. You get the same weaponry of a Constellation minus one of the turrets, same shielding, and a ton of cargo room. Definitely the one that I would pick up if I couldn't pick up a Phoenix with LTI, which I cannot, which is why I don't own a Phoenix. Phoenix is hull limited. You cannot upgrade to it. So I like it, but it's a purchase in game for me. If I'm going to purchase something worth real money, it's going to have LTI on it. Is that a requirement for everybody? No. That's just my requirement for myself to help me feel better about spending so much money on spaceships. That's not true. It's a joke. All right, come on. Now this is... Oh, this is the Apollo, isn't it? Yeah, so this is the Apollo. This is a medical ship that has a bit of modularity. You can do different configurations between tiers of medical beds. And it's supposed to have drones that'll actually go out, grab somebody who is in space, and actually pull them into the ship and put them straight into a medical bed. Very cool ship. One I'm definitely interested in. I would say it's medium size, just a bit smaller than a Constellation, but you can definitely see the influence there. If you're interested in medical gameplay, this is one you should definitely be looking at. Moving on, this is the Perseus. No, this is not. This is the, I misspoke. This is the Polaris. So the Polaris is a sub-capital, well, it's technically a capital, I guess, as it has capital components. but it is a bomber. There are torpedo bays with size 10 missiles, or torpedoes rather, and then tons of turrets, as you can see, dotted all about for kind of like STS and fighter defense. And then there's a hangar on top for a small fighter or small ship. It has a brig. What else does it have inside? Medical facilities, captain's quarters, all kinds of cool stuff in this ship. This is one that you can take out with your friends, and you don't really need to have a fleet with it. You can kind of just go out on your own and have the ability to attack larger or smaller ships as needed in order for, for defense or for missions that require it. And there is a cargo hold with a ramp so that you can put a vehicle in. Kind of a bit of a multi-role ship, even though it is a military bomber. One that I'm interested in, and I definitely have a CCU to it, and I will apply it if the ship is released and seems like something I want. This is the new one. This is the RSI Galaxy. I'm very interested in this ship. I love how the bridge, you can't see it from here, but it's like right up here. I like bridges that are like mid-ship and that you can see your own ship, kind of like the 890 jump. And the Kraken, things like that. Gives you a real sense of scale. This is a modular ship. It's meant for multi-role. There's a middle section here that you can replace that should have either a cargo bay, a refinery bay, or a medical bay. And there is a rear entry extra small hangar, which I think is really cool. This ship is really interesting. You see there's 3 turrets. There's one here, one on the front, one on the other side, both with dual size 5s. It is a 6-person, I believe, maximum crew. Multi-role ship that has a focus on industry. And you can kind of see, let me zoom in here. You can kind of see the bridge right here. It's almost like you take a Constellation bridge and just kind of stick it on top there. I really like this ship. The one thing I don't like is that I can't upgrade to one that has a module already. So I'm going to upgrade a smaller ship to this with LTI. It's not going to have an LTI or lifetime insurance module. And that's kind of a downer for me. So I'll have to buy the modules in-game if I do decide to apply the CCU that I've purchased for that. But definitely a cool ship. And if that's the largest ship your org owns, I think that would be a great choice for smaller orgs. And then last but not least, this is the Perseus. Perseus is a gunship slash almost like a battleship. You have these large like naval turrets with dual size 7s on them. You got one on the bottom and one on the top. Has a bunch of missiles as well, and I love the bridge layout right here. Look at this, very commanding conning tower style bridge. This is it's got a small cargo bay, and I think you can put a rover in it as well, so you can multi-purpose this a bit. But for a ship this size, the crew requirement's actually quite low. I think you could get away with 3 personnel on this, 1 on each turret and 1 in the bridge flying the ship. Definitely a cool ship, but not one that I think I will keep. I do have a CCU chain that allows me to basically go through all of those ships up to the Polaris, so I get to decide which one I want and then just apply the CCUs for that. But I'm going to keep them in my hangar. This is the Ursa rover. I love this thing. I love how the turret can actually go down this track down the side, much like the rover in Aliens did. Let's go ahead and check it out. This is a fully enclosed personnel carrier. We would call this an APC in the military, especially if it had tracks, but it's an armored personnel carrier. There is cargo space too, so these seats can fold up and you can put cargo on these maglev, I believe they're called? No. Whoops, didn't mean to set. I don't know why we set. Oh my goodness. So he's setting automatically, so let's just try to not. There we go. There's a side entryway. There are component access here. There's also storage. And then we'll just take a look inside the driver's compartment here. Pretty good view. Pretty cool vehicle. Stop setting in the chairs. Normally you have to like select the chair and select that you want to set in it. For some reason my character is tired and just wants to sit in those chairs for no reason. All right, let's go to the annex, which I'm sure is full of Auroras, and that'll do it for RSI Day. So today's CCU is for the Mantis back there. We'll save you $10. It'll make the Mantis, which is normally a $150 ship, be $140. All right, moving on, let's check out the annex. Also, tomorrow would be day 10 for IAE. I'm not going to make a video for that because it's just going to be the best in show. And that's the 4 ships that were voted on by the community during, I think, September timeframe, September, October. And they'll just get special skins for free if you own that ship for best in show day. So no real need for me to do a tour of that. This will be the final tour of IAE 2952. Let me know in the comments what you guys picked up during the event, what CCUs you found helpful. If you're interested in the Galaxy, tell me your thoughts on the Galaxy. I'm kind of torn on that ship just because it's kind of useless without a module. All right, so what do we got here? We got another Mantis. Why? Why is there 2 Manti? This one has... Okay, you can at least see the mechanism here for the quantum snare that's open. Alright, so these are the starter ships from RSI. These are called the Aurora series. And if we're to recommend any one of these Aurora series, it would be this one right here, the Legionnaire. The Legionnaire is just straight up better. It has more missiles, more guns, and this cool green paint job. There's not much to the Aurora series. Let's go ahead and enter the ship. I'll just show you what's inside here. But you do have options. So you can have people stand back here and fly them around. There is a bed to log out in. You can put mission boxes in here too. You get a pretty decent view. Even though there's struts everywhere, you can see kind of all around to include down. I love when ships let you see down like that. And then let's exit out of this side. Alright, that's the Legionnaire. Over here, some of these, I get confused. This is the MR, right? Yes, this is the MR, which I believe is the base Aurora, so it has less missiles, less weapons. You can fit mission boxes. If you look back here, there's kind of a rack underneath. Not mission boxes, but SCU boxes are supposed to mount back there. Store all, I think it's called a store all box, store all big box. It's supposed to mount there, and you can carry cargo as well. Not much, mind you. This is the LX. This is a luxury version. You end up with like a cool seat, maybe a little bit of upgraded guns, but that's about it. And when I first saw the Aurora, way back when I first started playing this game back in, well, 2015, but you couldn't really play it. You could just walk around a hangar. I thought these wings would fold out, much like the Scorpius's wings do, and I think this would be a much more interesting ship if that were the case. So this is the ES. This is a Pathfinder. I guess it has better scanners. What does it say for ES? Doesn't really say, but it does say it's a Pathfinder. I actually don't know the difference between the ES and the MR. If you guys do, let me know in the comments. And then this should be the CL, the Clipper. This has a larger cargo capacity, so that little rack on the bottom is a bit longer and you can store more cargo. This one is usually limited, and I don't know why that's the case. All right, so that's going to do it for RSI. Once again, let me know what you think of the Galaxy and some of the other concept ships. Which one should I go with, the Perseus, the Galaxy, or the Polaris? I'm leaning Polaris right now. And like I said, I have a CCU chain through all of them. But anyway, that's going to do it for my coverage of IAE 2952. If you like my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or a subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.